Somehow, a group of offspring born between the years of 1981 and 1996 had determined that they would be better than the generation before them. We knew what jobs we wanted, who our familiar units would consist of, what lifestyles we wanted to indulge in. Hell, we participated in one of the most pivotal moments in technology with the boom of the internet. Some of us went off to live the very lives we had envisioned for ourselves from adolescent years. And some of us are me. Join me, your homegirl Shamir, and my curated group of coveted friends and guests as we discuss our millennial mishaps in hopes to gain insight, spark or re-spark motivation, and hopefully drop some jewels for the next generation. This is Millenial Misfitz.
Hello, welcome in, come on in. I know this area is new to you guys. You haven't been here before, but don't worry, it's nice, it's welcoming. Take your shoes off, I've got waters, I've got juice, I've got coffee. But come on in and relax, and let's go ahead and get a little acclimated to Millenial Misfits. I am your host, Shamir, and some of you may know me as Jordynn, and we'll get into all the nitty-gritty details of how those two coexisted at one point in time. But for right now, I'd just like to welcome you into my podcast, and this is really awkward, honestly. I don't see how people ever started their podcast. The many of podcast options that you have to listen to, I'm not certain how they actually got started, because it literally took me a lot to get to this point, but here we are. Once again, my name is Shamir. I am your classic proverbial millennial misfit. Hopefully be your host, your guide, as we both try to figure this out. Kind of what led me to start this podcast is that I know I cannot be the only millennial that's in a position of where they feel left behind, or they feel like that they have not met their expectations, let alone anyone else's expectations on where they were supposed to be in life. I know everybody and their mom literally have a podcast. Everyone, a microphone, has a pod, and now that Amazon has them for less than $20 online. Yes, the one that I'm using is less than $20 via Amazon. I figured I might as well join them and, share some of my knowledge and share my journey, and hopefully along the way we can, try to figure out the kinks of the journey together. So I don't claim to know it all, but I know a little bit, and we're going to figure out the rest of it. So just kind of like to briefly describe, I guess, what I've been doing with my life, whatever that is. I don't know. As a kid, let's just go back there. As a kid, I know I had it all figured out. I was highly intelligent. Well, I'm still highly intelligent, but we'll go with was for right now, because sometimes my actions reflect otherwise. But back when I was a kid, I definitely felt I had everything planned out. I knew that I was going to be making $100K a year before taxes and bonuses, is what I used to always tell people. I used to tell people that I wanted to work in business. I just knew I wanted to be a businesswoman who carried a briefcase. I just wanted to have the shoes that made the click-clock noises on the floor as I rolled the elevator all the way up to my penthouse level office with my briefcase. And I literally, honestly, now that I think about it, I don't know what that person was actually doing. Like, what was her job title? Like, what were her roles and responsibilities? Like, what exactly does she do for the business that she is scraping the floors of with her heels? I don't know. And I still don't know to this day. I just knew that I was going to be successful. I should mention that I have a family. I have three and a half children, if we're counting my old man. But I have a family, and that is definitely not something that was in my sights, if at all. I honestly Like, it feels brutally honest at this time, but I expected to be a childless woman, a marriageless woman. I watched my mom go through things with my father and my sister's father, and those are just not things that I wanted to engage upon. And I'm not taking away any type of credit from my mother, but I did, the community, you help out. So I definitely helped out at a young age. So AKA I was the sitter. So I didn't plan on continuing that in my adult life, but that's not how things go. So anyway, just get back. So that's where is life in a nutshell. I was always top of the class, grade A, teacher's pet, teacher's favorite, because it was just easy. Honestly, I can't recall a moment that a teacher actually had to buckle down and utilize the degree that they possessed with me. I just kind of came in already equipped, and then we had to wiggle out little kinks and things like that. But pretty much I was definitely the epitome of what you would call a teacher's favorite, and I just had plans to do great things in my life. But I'm not saying that I'm not doing them now, but it doesn't look like what I had expected. And now that I don't know if I should tell my age, whatever. I am in my early 30s, pushing mid 30s, and I'm starting to feel a little, just maybe slightly left behind, because I spent the last 10 or so, 10-ish years, 10, 15, I don't know, one of the two, you guys figure it out. I've spent the last decade or so kind of trial and error, and more errors than trials, because they weren't even properly formulated. I didn't have a plan. I just been out here, doing whatever. So I started off my first job, working at Burger King's, McDonald's, fast food. That's kind of where everyone starts at. I got intrigued, and actually, I guess I was gullible, but the management looked awesome to me. I saw people, they had nice cars. I had a manager, I remember her name like it was yesterday. Her name was Mary Brown. She had this nice Ford F-150. She'd been working for McDonald's for 20 years, and Mary was, she was a mature woman. But I thought, hey, maybe I don't have to go to college and do all those things. And then, I started going boy crazy. So maybe I can just stay here, be a manager, make, a decent amount of money, and that'll be life. So I actually went into management relatively early. I was a manager, considered a manager in training at 16, because you can't be a certified manager until you're 18 years old. So then I went straight into management at 18, and I actually started running my own stores by the time I was 21 years old. So I did that, left fast food because the glitz and glam of call center work actually compelled me to make the switch. So then I went over to call center work, and I was able to climb the ladder there. So I'm like, this service world kind of works for me. And then at that time, by that time I had a child, and then I just met my old man, and we're adding multiple children, and so that's kind of just what I did for a couple of years. I should also say, while I'm going through all of this, I thought I wanted to be a rapper. So I'm going back to when I was younger, about third grade, I wrote my first couple of chapters of a book. At least what I thought the book was about. A girl, she's a new girl at a new school, and it's the classic teenage story. The popular guy likes the new girl, but no one really likes the new girl, blah blah blah. But then that led me to poetry. I got really, really into poetry. That was my first love for sure. And then I called myself wanting to be a rapper. When you get intertwined with the neighborhood kids and yada yada yada, you're outside, someone with a pencil and a green box always knows how to make a beat. So one day I gone out there, I took one of my poems, I rapped it, and I rapped better than all the guys out there. So it just kind of became a thing, and For a long time, I thought that's what I was supposed to do. I thought, well, hey, obviously my life didn't go in the professional direction that I wanted to go in. So maybe I am a creative. Maybe I am supposed to do this. And I had to break out of my introverted shell, and I began to attract fans across the United States. And actually, I started touching internationally too. So, I mean, you never know. You never know what you can do. I actually just thought of a quote earlier today. Is that you either try and you fail, or you fail because you didn't try. And I honestly don't know which one is worse for me. But just know I did try and I quit. And then after that, by the time I quit, I'm 30 years old. And 30 years old, trying to figure out what you're supposed to do when you got everyone is in their careers, or now you're starting to watch the new generation, the Gen Zs, if you will, figuring it out at an entirely 10 years earlier than you did. So you start to feel a little left behind. So all in all, I essentially wanted to make this pod to, first of all, catalog my journey. My goal, I have 3 girls. And if I could be blatantly honest here, this is my pod, god dang, so I understand that you're a guest, but I'm going to be blatantly honest here. I have 3 girls, and I just don't feel like that there are enough good role models in place for them. I don't feel like, even if I still love music, I still love poetry, that those 2 loves are never going anywhere. Actually, my hate for music is actually what's driving me crazy, I feel, or at least played a role in that. But it's just, I don't feel like, at least the state that it's in, it's just not conducive of being the epitome of what I feel a woman should bring to the table of life, if you will. So what I want now is I want to focus on building generational wealth. I should mention that I just recently got my real estate license. I am a licensed broker in the state of Indiana, and actually I'm recording this as of it's midnight on July 7th, and I should be scheduling my reciprocity exam for Illinois in the next couple of days. So by the time you hear this, I should be a licensed broker in both states of Indiana and Illinois, and that is pretty much where my focus is. And we're just going to walk through the journey of getting that all figured out. My goal is generational wealth. So that's essentially what I was getting at, is that I want to focus on building things for my family. We are very first generational. Between me and my sisters, no one has really seen the type of wealth or affluence that I feel like we would be able to contribute to. Hopefully, with perseverance and determination and discipline, we'll be able to turn that around. So I want to build that. I want to be the first person to build that. And not even just about being the first person. It's just I have these girls that I want them to live a better life, or at least have access to the things that I didn't have access to. I feel like that having access to resources, your network is your net worth, is completely true. There is no way around it. And it's just the way that it's the game of life. We got to learn how to get in and play, and you play to win. So that's what I want for my girl. Modern tech has literally changed lives, and there is no reason for someone as myself. I literally went to school. Matter of fact, I forgot to mention that I did go off to college for computer information systems. I should not be one of the ones that have not figured it out yet. And that, it's just about communication, podcasts, just getting content out there and content. And I believe that everyone has a story to tell. It's just a matter of cultivating a proper plan and honing in on it and executing it. So the difference between someone being successful and someone not being successful, a lot of the times, is execution. So I want to be on the other side of that. To see change, we got to be change. And once again, just ancestral background. We come from slaves. Let's just be all the way real. I actually just got off a chat with my sisters discussing ancestry, and we come from slaves. So in order for us to see something different, we definitely have to start doing things differently. So what you can expect next, I just wanted to do a little quick intro episode because I really don't even know if I want to do this for real or if I know what I'm doing. I just know that with Millenial Misfitz, I do want this to be a safe place for millennials. I am targeting millennials, but anyone that just feels like that they are behind, you are not. You have to go at your own pace. You have to learn. I literally wish that I had the knowledge that I have now when I was 20, but if I didn't have it, I wouldn't be here ready to make these adjustments today. So, definitely going to be posting. I was thinking of, because what I want to do is I want to do a podcast specifically for my real estate business, and I don't know what type of schedule that I need to be on. I'm thinking maybe every other week, honestly, because I feel like every weekly is too much for me, at least right now. I'm just getting started, but you can expect to hear from me at least every other week, and it'll either be myself. I do plan on having guests, a couple of guest hosts. Hopefully my sisters pop in for a few so we can have a conversation or two. And I just, like I said, just want everyone to be able to learn from my mistakes, and we can discuss all of our mistakes. We can grow together and, just hopefully live the most fulfilled lives that we could possibly crave for ourselves. So in the meantime, I think I'll have to come back because I have no social set up for this. I have no outro. So this is going to be really raw. But I hope I gave a little insight of what you can expect going forward. I will talk to you soon.